Okay, so this is our Karen Manoa sit to stand and stand to sit transfer training video. We're also going to have ambulation assistance in this. So I'll start first and we'll run through the whole thing, teaching as we go, and then Chris and I will trade places, and Chris will be the one doing the teaching. So it's going to be sit to stand, ambulation, and then stand to sit. That's going to be the sequence. So first of all, make sure you have your equipment with you. So in this scenario, the resident, Chris, is going to be seated in the wheelchair, left by somebody else when I come, and my job is to help her get up and go for a little walk and come back and sit down in the chair. And so she needs a walker to walk, and also we're going to use a gait belt, even though the purpose of this training is to show you how to put on a gait belt, and also to have a gait belt for safety purposes. We're not going to use it, you're not going to hang on to it in any way during this whole training. And also Chris, the resident, is going to have right-sided weakness, which means this whole side of her body is weak. Probably this bigger scenario would be she's had a stroke. So she's able to walk, but her right side's weaker. Also, that means that her right arm is weaker. So we're not going to trust that her right side's going to work as well as her left side. So part of this whole training is learning how to guard the weak side. So in this case, it would be the right side. Okay, so we're going to get going. Good morning, Chris. How are you?
Good.
Good. I'm Vicki. So I'm your caregiver, and I'm going to help you get up, and we're going to go for a little walk.
Okay.
Okay. So first thing I'm going to do is make sure the brakes are locked on the wheelchair. Okay, and they're locked. Next thing is I'll put the gait belt on. Yes. Okay. What I'd like you to do is have the fold of the gait belt on the outside of the resident. So this is on the outside because this can get uncomfortable on the resident. So face the fold out. Okay. Okay, Chris, I'm just going to bring the gate belt around behind you. Thank you. So you fasten the gate belt through the teeth, the side with the teeth first. So it's coming through here. Get it snug, and then it's going to go back through the other side. It needs to be snug enough that only like 3 fingers can go in, so I'm going to actually make it tighter. If the resident complains about it, kind of the idea is they're just going to have to put up with it for a little while for safety purposes. So this is snug enough. Tuck the end in just to get it out of the way, and then it's best to actually have it turn to the side a little bit and just underneath your belly button. Okay, this is, turning it to the side is to make it more comfortable for the resident when they lean forward. Okay, are you okay?
Yes.
Okay. So next thing, I'm gonna put a hand to guard her shoulder. That's gonna keep her from falling forward. Can you lift your foot up? Okay, and we're gonna swing the leg rest, foot plate up, leg rest to the side. This one, I'm gonna help her get her foot down, because that's her weak side. Next thing, scoot forward. So, this you probably need to be over here. So when I'm standing in front of her like this, if she falls forward, she's gonna fall onto me. She's not gonna fall on the floor, so I can take my hand off her shoulder. I'm gonna help her scoot forward in the chair. So in order to do that, hands on the trunk. I'm gonna push with one hand to have her lean the opposite way. Can you lean that way? And then hand behind her hip, scoot forward. Come up, lean the other way, and behind the hip, scoot forward. Okay, so her feet are flat on the ground. That means she's forward enough. Are you doing okay?
Yes.
Okay. So back to guarding. Am I forgetting anything yet?
No.
Okay, I'm checking with my trainer. Okay, so the walker has to be up close. Get it as close as you can to the wheelchair. And then I'm gonna block the wheel, the front wheel. You can block the back wheel if you'd rather, but I'm gonna block the wheelchair wheel from sliding backward when she stands up. We're also going to block before she sits down. And the idea is, even though the brakes are locked, some wheelchairs, the brakes are not very strong. Okay, so blocked. Okay, Chris, can you slide your feet underneath your knees? Okay, and if she needed to, I would help place this one back. And then the idea with this is it's a lot easier to stand up if your feet are underneath your knees. If the residents' feet are out here, they're going to have a hard time standing up. Okay, and then hand placement. So there's in this resident situation, there's a strong hand and then there's a weak hand. So the weak hand we want on the walker. Can you put your hand up here? So this hand is not going to do any work. This hand right here, yep, we're going to place just like that. So that's the hand she's going to use to help push herself off the chair. Okay. Okay, we're getting ready to stand up, Chris.
Okay.
So on the count of 3, I want you to lean forward, nose over toes. I want you to use your legs, push with your hand, and stand up, okay?
Okay.
So before she goes, I'm going to switch out my hands. Right hand on her shoulder to guard. My left hand's going to go under her right buttock because that's the side she's going to need help lifting up, okay? All right. Lean forward, nose over toes, push. 1, 2, 3, up. There she goes. Okay. So we're up. Next thing, we're going to go for a little walk. Before she starts, I have my hands on her hips, and I'm going to hold on to her the whole time, on her hips, not on the gait belt. If she seems unstable or weak, I'm going to squeeze tighter with my hands. Okay, Chris, let's go ahead and go for a little walk. I'm going to walk close behind her, and because she has a weak side, a little bit to her right. Okay, can you turn a little bit to the left? And we're going to make a circle. You're a really good walker, Chris. I gotta say. Okay, and then turn left again. So always staying behind, close behind, a little bit to the right in case she stumbles or begins to fall. Okay, stop right there, that looks good. Okay, so again, weak right side, so I want to protect it. So I have a hand here, I'm going to lean on her, bring the wheelchair closer. I'm going to do a brake check. Brakes are locked, even though I left it, I'm going to check the brakes again. Okay. And I'm going to bring the wheelchair behind her and ask her, Chris, can you feel the wheelchair?
Yeah.
Okay, good. I'm going to block the wheel again so it doesn't slide backward when she sits down. Okay, Chris, can you reach back with your left hand to the armrest? There you go. Okay. Did I forget anything, Chris?
No.
Okay. So on the count of 3, you're going to lean forward, nose over toes, and sit down in the chair, okay?
Okay.
And I'm going to keep holding her hips all the way down, okay? 1, 2, 3, go ahead and sit. Very good. I'm going to hold her right shoulder again to guard her, and then I'm going to move the walker out of the way, come around in front, and we're going to scoot her back in the wheelchair. So very similar, hands on the trunk. I'm going to push with my right hand to get her to lean this way. Can you lean that way? And then my hand goes under her thigh, scoot back. Other way, lean, scoot back. Okay, so that's good. So she's all the way back in the chair now. Going to guard her again on the right side. Reach around, get the leg rest, up. And maybe she needs help with this one. We'll see. Okay. Looking good. Gonna take the gate belt off. Are you doing okay?
Yes.
Thank you. So if she has a wheelchair seat belt, we'll fasten it. Make sure that she has her bell, her call lights, and we know the brakes are locked. We'll just do one more check. Is there anything else that you need?
No.
Did I forget anything?
You're good.
Okay.
Everything
I gotta
okay.
keep asking her. Okay, thank you, Chris.
Thank
Have
you,
a good day.
Vicki.